Kirk Marley with Dovetail Planning, and I wanted to talk for a second about successors. And I deal a lot closely held businesses, and oftentimes closely held businesses are, possibly mom and dad owning this business, and it can be a very large business that mom and dad owns. It doesn't mean necessarily it's mom and pop. It can be very large, but it doesn't mean that that someone from the outside is going to end up owning that business when mom and dad retire or are gone. It might be a family member, and oftentimes it is a family member who is a successor. And oftentimes there's a number of heirs, some of which have a skill set that lends itself well to the business, and some that have an interest in the business but don't have the skills. So I've had these conversations with clients for many years about how do I help my child or even my employee who is the successor develop these skills. Now, obviously, if they're in the business, they are bringing something to the table. And there's a skill set that they have, an interest they have, and something they're doing that is benefiting the business. But when the founder of a business oftentimes has all of those skill sets. And it doesn't mean they had them naturally. It means they had to develop them. And sometimes the School of Hard Knocks helps them develop these skills. And so how do you transmit those skills to the next generation? The way you do that is you hold yourself accountable and your successor or successors accountable to at least quarterly meetings. And what you do is you have a business review at each one of those quarterly meetings where you talk about revenue, talk about expenses, and we talk about profit opportunities. And you sort of just explore value and purpose of the business. But beyond that, remember, the purpose of this meeting is not just to say we're wonderful and we're making money and here's our opportunities. The purpose is to bring a skill set along to the next generation, whoever that is. So in this meeting, what you're doing is you are making assignments. These assignments start off smaller. Because you don't give an assignment to someone who's a fledgling with a fledgling skill set, an assignment that could injure the business. But it has to have enough weight and bearing that it's a real assignment that the person who has the assignment feels a responsibility, and they have a timeline, and they know they're accountable, and they're going to return a report, and it's going to be analyzed how they did. And so every quarter, we take a few objectives, a few things the company needs to get done, and we delegate those. And with the understanding that in 3 months, you're going to give an accounting. We're going to see what went right, what went wrong, what you would change, what the outcome was. And if you think about a business owner, that's exactly how every business owner learns. You may have an amazing education. You may be a CPA, you may be an attorney, even when you start this business, but there are skills that you learn, and all of us learn through experience. And what that means is some experience is positive. I hit a home run, and some is, you slid into home and you got tagged out. And so what we have to do is we have to be willing to delegate a little bit of our opportunity to the next generation, and understanding that if they screw it up, it is not the end of the world. And it's up to the business owner to make sure that they understand that task that they're given is important, but it's nothing that could really damage the business. And over time, now this is over maybe a 2 or 3 year period, these quarterly meetings now have helped the next generation develop some skills, even a lot of skills, that the business owner himself or herself has. And then the business owner can start to see themselves actually extricating themselves from the business at some point. Because everybody talks about succession, and if you're a normal business owner, you don't really know how it's going to work. You don't really know that anyone could actually step into your shoes. And yet there are many things you can do to prepare that next generation of employees or family, whoever it's going to be, to step in those shoes. It's really up to you to hold yourself accountable and then delegate the small things and then larger tasks. And then all of a sudden your vision opens up and you can see this person actually, or these people, or this board could actually run this business. And then your focus can change to where you're going, after you've sold the business or you've gifted the business or whatever, however you're going to transition the business. So that's something to remember and to use those quarterly meetings, make people accountable, and then watch them grow. It'll happen.